All right, next up we got Operation Friendship. That is a dumbass title. I'm sorry. Holy God. There's some dumbass titles of this show. This is one, the next one as well. We'll get to that, but some dumb titles. All right, so we got Tate Donovan in here, which this guy, he's been in a bunch of stuff, but for me, he'll always be the dude in Love Potion #9 with Sandra Bullock. I love that movie. It was a goofy, that's like a good little rom-com if you ever want to throw on a rom-com for a chick one night and you're like, I don't like them. There's some good ones out there, and that one's fun. Anyways, so this guy is a computer programmer and he's being taken advantage of. He's like the weaker personality because we then find out later that he is living with his more dominant personality, but for now his more submissive personality is in control of his body. And we get the Jody from Dazed and Confused, another Dazed and Confused reference here. But the music in this episode was very like kiddie. It reminded me of something like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or something. Like the music seemed very out of place for a Tales from the Crypt episode. It was more like whimsical and light, and I wasn't really digging it. But for the episode itself, it kind of fit because this episode is very light and playful. I mean, it kind of plays out like Drop Dead Fred or Wilfred or something, where he has this, really annoying sidekick who keeps pushing him, and except for, I mean, it's arguable for Wilfred, but with Drop Dead Fred, he's there to try to push her into a more dominant position where he's trying to help her get over things and become a better person. This one, ultimately, the dominant personality wins out and takes over the body because he doesn't like how he's doing it, and he finally defeats him in whichever way he can by, I guess it's kind of like, this is a little bit of a spoiler actually, so I don't know if I can talk about this for movie Identity. So if you haven't seen Identity with John Cusack, fucking watch that movie and come back and finish this, because that movie's fucking amazing. But it's kind of like that, where like he has to eliminate his personalities within himself in order for the one true dominant to reign supreme and take over his body. But except for with this one, it's just two people, and he has to get this guy to think he killed himself so that he can take back over his body and be in charge, which I thought was really cool. And let's see. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the whole like idea that he goes out on the date with this girl, and I get that might be true, but of course this is always true in movies. Like, the weirder he acts, the more enticed she seems to be with him. He's the mysterious stranger, right? Like, I've definitely had some success in that area where less is more. But he's definitely like going under the table and talking to himself and stuff like that. I don't know if that would fly. I definitely wouldn't get away with something like that. Not that I've tried, nor am I going to, but I don't know. Going under the table while you're at dinner. And she asked him out to dinner. Girl that hot is going to fucking come next door. She's your next door neighbor. And she's going to be like, well, I don't hate to eat alone. Take me out. Man, that's male writing for you right there. Some girl's going to ask you out like that, but it is what it is. She does, and they go out, and I love that the dude's all about him getting laid, dating this girl, whatever, because I'm guessing he gets to reap the benefits. Like, if he gets laid, then he gets laid. Like, they kind of reside in this, they share the same mind, so they share the same body. But once he finds out she's a psychiatrist, he wants nothing to do with her, because he knows that she could potentially help him overcome him, because he has this ability to kind of blink him out. If he concentrates hard enough, he can dissolve him for the time being, however long that ends up being. But you know how distracting something like that would be. I mean, despite it being all in your head, supposedly, like, you can't deny what's visually or like audibly in front of you or next to you. Like if something was screaming in your face while you were trying to talk to somebody, whether they saw it or not, whether they believed it was there or not, whatever you do, your brain is seeing that. And that's why I always feel so terrible for these people who have mental illnesses like that, if that really truly is what it's like to be schizophrenic or something. To see somebody or have multiple personality disorders or whatever. Do you imagine like seeing somebody right in front of you or next to you and he's just screaming, he's telling you terrible things, he's telling you how worthless you are, whatever. Oh my, how could you ignore such a thing? But on the flip side of that, I mean, those people who they live in like a whimsical, like lavish, loving, crazy fucking fantasy world, and they're super happy, like leave them there. They don't want to bring them here. This is way, way worse. So there's two sides to that, but imagine just having someone screaming in your face and all that stuff like happens in this episode. There's just no way. You couldn't fucking ignore it, dude. I'm sorry. Absolutely not. So, and it is a kind of a unhappy ending, and it's a downer. Like this dickhead, that's what this guy is. Oh, I forgot to mention that the dude in this episode is Ray Linsky. Linsky, yeah, from The Frighteners. I love The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox and freaking Jeffrey Combs. If you haven't seen The Frighteners, Jake Busey, God, so good. One of Peter Jackson's. I mean, I love Peter Jackson, so but it's one of my favorite Peter Jackson films outside of like Lord of the Rings stuff. I love The Frighteners. If you haven't seen The Frighteners, do yourself a favor. Ooh, Arlie Ermey's in it as well. Of course, he plays the drill sergeant like he does in every fucking movie. But definitely check out The Frighteners if you haven't seen it. This dude is in it. Such a good movie. Anyways, let's move on.